We're just days away from the 2025 NFL Draft, and we will be there live for every pick from Green Bay, Wisconsin. But we got to get the last mock draft out there. We're to the Chicago Bears. Our buddy, Ben Johnson, Asheville, North Carolina native, Zach Hurst, really good friends with Ben Johnson. He will be on our draft coverage from Green Bay. Where do the Bears go in the draft? We start at 10, and I'm not going to lie to you. I hate this pick for the Raiders. I love this pick for the Bears. Ashton Jeanty, running back out of Boise State. This kid needs to go to a team that is competitive. This kid needs to go to a team that has an offensive line ready-made. I feel like people think I just hate him. I don't. I do have a Marion Hampton ahead of him as an NFL prospect. However, I do think he's got great body balance. I think in the right system, he can be fantastic. And playing in this system that has Caleb Williams at quarterback, you've got all the weapons. I do think there's a high side with Jeanty where he can come in and just be a bell cow. And then you could have DeAndre Swift as more the lightning to his thunder. Ashton Jeanty can be a really good running back in the NFL. I just don't like the idea of him going to a team that's not ready to compete now. And I do think the Bears are ready to compete now. So right here at 10, we go Ashton Jeanty. 39, a guy they've been hot on the entire process. And look, I do need to cover, this is not what I would do. This is how I think the draft is going to go. It's Josh Conerly Jr., offensive tackle out of Oregon. I believe they would give him almost a blip year behind Braxton Jones with the intention of him taking over for Braxton Jones in a year. Conerly is a little bit more raw than you would want him to be, but he's a big dancing bear, really good at left tackle, had some ugly reps at right tackle in the Senior Bowl week, but he did show that he could hold up doing it. Him and Darnell Wright would make probably the most athletic set of tackles in the history of the NFL. And I think Conerly's got feet that are going to keep him in the top half of left tackles in the NFL for his entire career. This kid was a running back in high school, and it shows because he's got running back feet. He does need to get a little bit stronger, and he does need some more reps of really learning the position. But at 39, which is more where I think he goes than the end of the first round, I really like the value. The Bears don't have a ton of needs, so they can really go best player available and think back to Ben Johnson's time in Detroit. What did they invest in? A lot. The running game and the offensive line. Start there here in Chicago with Ashton Jeanty and Josh Conerly. The second round pick, Oluwafemi Oladejo, edge rusher out of UCLA. This kid was an off-ball linebacker until this past season, and I didn't really put any merit to him whatsoever. Then he put his hand down, and he got better every single game. Came to the combine and the Senior Bowl, and absolutely looked like Thor, God of Thunder. And it just really made people take notice. Had a good week in Mobile, had a good combine week. And now I think it's made people really look at that 10-game sample size with UCLA and go, it's not a lot of tape. But, man, if he just keeps getting better as he learns the position of playing natural edge rusher, I think you can really get a lot out of him, and he can be a phenomenal second edge on the opposite side of Montez Sweat. 72, Jalen Royals, wide receiver out of Utah State, former running back, really good with the ball in his hand, but also has really good receiver skills. The reason that he's still available here, he is slot exclusive for me. I think you could catch some snaps with him on the outside. I just wouldn't make a steady diet of it. But he's one of the best yak players in this class. I know a lot of fans really like him. They really like the tape. I think he can come in and start in this situation right away. I don't love him in some of the others where I have seen him, where he comes in and has to be the 2. In Chicago, he's the 3. At best, he might be the 4, behind Cole Kmet playing tight end. I like the idea of Royals. He reminds me a lot of Malachi Corley from last year, who I also loved. He's just a much more refined version. You get him here at 72. It's great value to fill that slot role. Ty Robinson, as we get into day 3, defensive tackle from Nebraska. He is a little light in the pants, but he is very athletic, and I think has a nice athletic profile that does tell me there's a possibility that this kid could be really, really good from the inside. And he gets to sit behind Grady Jarrett for a year and play as a rotational piece as he acclimates to the NFL. John Williams, offensive tackle from Cincinnati. I think he could play tackle or guard. He's been popular in the process. The Bears have been really hot on him. Had him in for either a top 30 visit or they had a workout with him. I can't remember which one. But it really put him on my radar. He was right on that fringe of draftable. A lot of times with seventh rounders, the highest end prospects, they start telling teams, don't draft me. I want to pick my spot. So I start getting into the undrafted guys in the seventh round, if for nothing else to tell teams, guys to look out for to potentially be undrafted free agents for their team. And then big-bodied Bo Collins, wide receiver out of Notre Dame at 240. He is a developmental piece. I don't know that he's ever going to be – I don't know that he'll ever be special, but there's a lot of raw in him that I do think if you put the time in, he might turn into a good fourth receiver down the line. Bears fans, how do you feel about this mock? Would you be happy with this if it went that way in Green Bay this week? Let me know in the comments if there's a player you want to talk about with the Bears. Chuck that in there too. I answer all of those. And then check us out. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can check out all of our coverage live from Green Bay, Wisconsin, Radio Row, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of the 2025 NFL Draft. It's all yours here in the Sportsocracy. I'm at ESPN Draft Nerd Jeremy Green. Find me there on Twitter. This is the Sportsocracy, and this was the final 7-round mock draft for the Chicago Bears.